everybody, welcome to the Riskinator. I hope you all are having a risk-tastic day. This is the highlights for the first week of the 1v1 tourney, brought to you by none other than the Riskinator. Beautiful day here in Asia. Time is 1800s. It's came out from all over the world to see athletes representing hundreds of different countries in this grand tourney. Only Risk's finest players get to compete in this tourney, or the people that were on the ball with signing up but are bad players like me. Weather is sunny with just a tint of clouds. Temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm not an American, but that sounds pretty good to me. Things are going to be happening really fast in this highlights video, so fasten your seatbelts and come along for the ride. Fioressa versus Red Rebel was the first match. These guys are the pioneers of this map as they went first, testing it out and showing everyone else, giving them an idea of what this map is like. They are the ones that made people aware how easy it is to win going second. Red Rebel got to start first, but despite starting first, Fioressa was able to capture a couple of continents, which really made it hard for Red Rebel to compete with. Red Rebel ended up getting eliminated and Fioressa moved on, but this is double elimination, so you do get a second chance. The next match to be played was King the 5th versus Champion Ever. I don't know about you, but Champion sounds stronger than 5th the King. Like, who wants to be the 5th King when you can be the champion? So 5th the King got to start first, and he split up his troops into two armies, as you can see there. He has a huge advantage over Champion Ever. Now, what I would have done here is I would have used the 6 to bash into the 5. I would have not used the 14. Who cares if you did not get it, then you still could have used the 14. But, I mean, I would have definitely done that. As you can see there, the crowd is booing in frustration. Shush, crowd. I cannot hear my amazing voice. And I wouldn't have worried about those extra territories down by Indonesia. I would have instead worried about all of the territories that he missed out on taking by not using that 5 in China, as well as over-placing troops in the Philippines. I would have definitely used that 6 to get the Philippines. And 5 on 5, even if that didn't succeed, then he could still use the second army. If that did succeed, no big deal. Who cares about those few territories down in the Philippines? So Champion here is able to put a big dent into 5th the King. As you can see, he's going to be able to hold a couple of continents, which is key when starting first. The thing is that in order to make your opponent lose, you got to get them down to about 6 to 5 to 4 troops per turn. And the thing is that you already get 3 troops per turn automatically. And so if you've got one other continent worth 2 troops, that's already 5 troops per turn. And 5 troops per turn is not quite the end. Not only that, but you're probably going to be getting 4 or 5 for the territories alone. And that is why every single troop per turn makes a difference. 2 troops per turn, that is just huge, guys. And that is something that I did not personally grasp until later. The crowd is not too surprised to see Champion Ever coming on top and sealing the deal for his first win. The thing about this course is it is really hard on the athletes competing here. It just takes your soul and your heart. It just, stabs your heart away, because this course is really hard. It takes everything you got, and there are a lot of mistakes on this course, let's just say. A lot of people lose starting first, and it's not an easy course. It really requires the most skilled. So as you can probably tell, Champion Ever wins 2 games in a row, back-to-back, starting second. Really impressive. And so he moves on 4-0. 4 is the highest score possible. First to 3 points does win, however. So our next match is Tricknology versus Riskmaster Gabe. This is going to be a hard one to predict, but I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Riskmaster Gabe. Tricknology putting his troops quite in a line, as you can see. His troops are not too spread out at all. It's not going to be that hard for Riskmaster Gabe to just blow through. As you can see, Riskmaster Gabe got a good chance of blowing through. Riskmaster Gabe holds a huge advantage going into the second game, as he will win the first game going second, which gives him 2 points. If he can start first, he can seal the deal. However, Tricknology does get first into the gate, which will just help Tricknology get possibly 1 point. If Riskmaster Gabe can win this game, he will win and smoke Tricknology, just like Champion Ever beat King the 5th. And talk about advancing in style. Riskmaster Gabe is gonna win this first round with 4-0. Really impressive for Riskmaster Gabe. Same with Champion Ever. Now here we have Master Risk versus Oscar Rods. Master Risk needs no introduction. Oscar Rods is the guy that won the Progressive Cards game against me and Risk Forever, so I'm sure y'all know who he is as well. And oof, we saw how quickly Oscar Rods won that first round. Here we are going a second round between Oscar Rods and Master Risk. Look at the damage that Oscar Rods is putting into Master Risk. Gonna be hard for Master Risk to make a comeback on that. So Master Risk, he tried, but Master Risk had nothing to say to Oscar Rods. Amazing power that he was able to put on in the first round. Master Risk did not really even have a chance, as Oscar Rods was able to take so many territories starting the first round. The next round is Xerip versus Baxter Chunks. Is it Xerip? I'm not good at pronouncing names with X's and Z's in them. So here we have Baxter Chunk trying to put a lot of damage, but look at how many territories Xerip has gotten. It will be pretty hard for Baxter Chunks to say anything about it. Xerip has been able to hold 2 continents, which is just really going to help Xerip out. Xerip will win the first round, but there is a lot more to come. This battle goes on quite a long time. First again, fortunately enough, which is myself. You're trying to overtalk myself? How dare you, myself? Just shut up, myself. One at a time, jeez. Okay, not for that long. Get back in here. Really bad for Baxter Chunks. He only has to get 3 points in order to advance. 19 against 17, that is sketch, but it did work out for Xerip. Better than I predicted it would. It sure did not work out very well for me and Albin. It will be Xerip that advances. Looks like Xerip rolled up on the right side of the bed. Get it? Okay, I'm not very good at making jokes, am I? So here we have Scrooge versus Stonebridge. This is going to be pretty hard to predict. Enough with the crickets, you already made your point, me. Both are pretty competent 1v1ers, though I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Scrooge. Let's just find out. Scrooge would have to mess up quite badly to not win this. Look at Stonebridge's 17, trapped in Korea. What can Stonebridge do starting second? Especially with his troops trapped in Korea. Okay, I thought those were trapped. Luckily for him, they were not, though. I might be proven wrong. Stonebridge might still make a comeback and beat the king of 1v1 Scrooge, starting second, which would be very good for Stonebridge indeed, guys. Skoosh. Stonebridge successfully got Skoosh down to 7 troops. If he can just get Skoosh down a couple more troops, it is game over for Skoosh right now. And look at Stonebridge. Holds Indonesia, 13 troops. I might have to take that back, guys. Stonebridge might actually beat Skoosh. And here we go, guys. Stonebridge getting 2 continents, 3 continents, 4 continents, guys. That is very good. It looks like it is game over for Skoosh right now, guys. Stonebridge will win your first 1v1 round, starting second, guys, which is going to be really great for Stonebridge. That is going to be 2 points. Stonebridge leading with 2 points. All he has to do is win this game starting first and get that 3rd point. It should not be too hard. Stonebridge, he is putting a huge dent into Skoosh. Although one big mistake that I think Stonebridge made was not putting all his troops in one big army. Another mistake I would say is the fact that Stonebridge unleashes Skoosh's army of 17. Otherwise, it would have been pretty hard for Skoosh to take Japan if he would have not unleashed his army of 17 and left his 5 there in Korea. It would have been impossible for him to take Japan. But therefore, he lost both Japan and Korea, trying to be greedy and go for Korea as well. Skoosh was able to do a lot of damage with his army unleashed. Stonebridge only gets 7 troops. Skoosh gets 9. Skoosh ends up winning this. Score is 2-1 right now. Skoosh looking to make it 2-all. He definitely has the luck with starting first more often, guys. It's a pattern. Skoosh, Stonebridge, Skoosh. Skoosh getting to start first every second time. He did good not unleashing Stonebridge's army as well as he could. Stonebridge, however, still has a lot of options with his big army of 17. Can he seal the deal and win this game as well, going second? It does end up looking pretty promising for Stonebridge. However, Skoosh does end up winning this round, and he also ends up advancing. Instead of Stonebridge, Skoosh ends up advancing to the next round of the 1v1 tourney and will compete next week. Apparently, there was no footage for Cadriel CCR versus Gada017, but luckily I do have footage of them competing. That is Cadriel, the red marble, starting on the left, and Gada017, the blue marble, starting on the right. Cadriel takes the early lead, but then he totally screws up by taking the longer line. Gata 017 flies past Cadriel, and look at that form that Gata 017 has. I do not have to show you the other two games to prove that Gata 017 smokes Cadriel and advances on to the next round of the tourney. If you're on the verge of clicking leave, then shame on you, because you've just forgotten the most important match in the tourney, in my opinion. My personal favorite match, me versus Albin. This was a very great match in my opinion, and I will tell you why it was so great. It was so great because we each took turns winning, starting second. It was insane. Look at the damage I am able to put into Albin right now. Only a complete noob could blunder a game like this starting first. I am not denying that I am one. All I'm saying is that it's going to take quite a bit on Albin's part to make a comeback from the dent I have put into him. I'll spare you all the horrific gore details that you do not want to see, and I will just cut it short, guys. Albin ends up beating me on the first round despite me starting first. Way to treat my self-ego, me. Yes, that's right, I am talking to myself. I mean, technically this whole video I'm talking to myself, because let's get real, guys. This video is probably only going to get like 0 views. And unlike the last match, this is something you're going to want to see. I end up winning, starting second, and beating Albin, which is something incredible that you definitely want to see. Unlike the last game, not just because it is me who makes this insane comeback, but also because this comeback was insane. And, well, because it was me that made the comeback. Now look at the bad blitz odds that Albin has blitzing my army in North Korea. That's right, don't mess with Kim Jong-un. I'm not actually sure if I said your name right, Dictator North Korea dude, but I really don't care. Words cannot describe how bad Albin's blitz rolls were. It was totally not his fault. The only thing that can describe it, however, is a cheesy Roblox sound effect from way back when. It goes something like... So, this last game is something you are definitely going to want to see. I end up winning in style. Well, actually, I end up winning starting first. But I end up crushing Albin. He's such noob. And I end up advancing to the next round of the tourney in style. This is the best game by far. Be sure to like and subscribe. And don't take anything I say seriously, guys. Until next time, have a risk-tastic day. And how did I know that you guys would stick around and watch me finish off Albin? I knew you guys would want to see this. See? Even though I tried to get you guys to leave, I know you guys will not leave until I finish crushing Albin. Have a good one, y'all.